Good
Hi,
evening. How are
good
you?
evening. Good evening, everyone. I'm good.
Welcome, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you. We are really glad to have you back with us.
Yes, sir. I'm
Okay.
excited about the whole thing. Hopefully, I'll be
So
able
let
to share something interesting. Yeah.
let me just introduce you and the topic you're going to be talking about to the audience, and then I'll hand it over to you. So we have with us Dr. F.S. Lee. He's going to be talking about, I think, something that is a very, very important topic that uh, is relevant to every single one of us as an employee. Building the human firewall. As Peter will also probably tell you, you can have millions of dollars worth of cybersecurity protocols, but if the human being at the end of that is flawed, that's going to be a big problem. So yes, Peter is going to be talking about this very, very important topic. A little bit about Peter. Dr. Lee contributes to the success of for the implementation of various national projects through his role as a change management team leader. He brings with him 20 years of experience in driving significant change management as well as IT projects for various government agencies, including the ministries. His strong change management background includes providing strategic consultation, training, and lectures to the government agencies for almost 10 years. Dr. Lee has also been awarded with various prestige Prime Minister Innovation Awards for his substantial contribution in the national IT landmark projects such as TelePrimary Care, Ministry of Health and MyGovXchange, MAMPU. And the best thing about Peter is he can teach you how to solve computer viruses as well as actual human viruses. Okay, so over to you, Peter.
Thank you, Aditya. I think very good evening. I think here is evening now in Malaysia, and welcome to my sessions here. Just a little bit of background on myself, and I think Aditya have done a great job of introducing me. Yes, I'm actually a medical doctor. Who are actually lost in the IT world. Yeah, so I think this is the second time I'm giving the session on with Rocheston on the cybersecurity. So just a little bit background is like now I'm with a company here known as Awantech, who is which is the largest ICT company in Malaysia. We run the managed service provider for Google in the for Google in the public sector, and also my section is like I'm running the talent consulting services for the company to run and drive Malaysia towards the cloud technology and also the my digital transformation. So I like to, as far as I will share with you my presentation first, and okay, so let me see. Okay, 1 minute. So I think today's session I'm going to talk to you about is actually more on what we call it as building the human firewall. So most of the people will be thinking that what exactly this human firewall is. It is something I would say that is very cheap. It was something that is like you don't need a high tech a gadget or tools that actually to go into this human firewall, I'm saying. But what we need to do is like we need the human, right, to see something that that they don't see. So as I always put it away, you will never see whatever that's around you, okay? And also something that you what you don't want to see, you will never, never, never ever see what exactly is all about. So my today's agenda is like I'm covering is like just a little bit about cyber vulnerabilities. I think most of you would have known already, but I just want to just highlight here a few things about the seriousness about this whole cybersecurity, the vulnerabilities, and like Vandana Verma was mentioning, like she loves open source. She loves something which is actually cheap for them to develop, and the tools that is actually ever available and stuff like that. But I think behind it there are a lot of the unknown undercurrent that is actually lying together with it that we don't realize and so forth. So I just want to share with you here, and also some of the global cybersecurity threats that are real, and what and why this human firewall is so important to us, right? And some of the solution that will be suggested to is known as ASK, okay, attitude, skills, and knowledge. And a little bit about, I feel that what Vandana Burma has mentioned is like everyone needs to know about cybersecurity now. And then there's no excuse. Me, you, medical doctors, or whoever. I will tell you why exactly. Is like even medical doctors need to know certain things about cybersecurity, and this is where, like I have also gone through the whole the course about on this Rocheston Certified Cybersecurity Specialist, which is actually very, very, very significant, yeah, for everyone to learn about the cybersecurity era and stuff like that. So if you see, let me hide this. Yeah, okay. We just see that I think here is actually from the Global Risk Report in World Economic Forum. You will see 2020 ransomware has raised up to 435%. It's about 4 times more. And people asking for ransom for them to lock their data, and then they will ask for money if they will not release the data if you don't pay them. I think, and another thing is like 3 million of gaps in cyber professional needed globally, and this gap will never, never be filled. To be frank, right? And it will continue to increase if we don't have this human firewall. So I think this is important. Is also to supplement and also as well as complement this 3 million gap of cyber professionals. So we all have to be our own at our own pace and our own knowledge. We ourselves probably needs to be cyberly professional, right? And of course, like if you look at the digital commerce by 2024, like you looking at like about 800 billion of US dollars will be spent, yeah, on this whole digital thingy. And of course, when it comes to all this usage and all these things and stuff like that on the digital ecosystem, you can see that cybersecurity will be one of the threat, okay, wherever you go. And why I'm touching on the human firewall is like, if you see it, look at this, it's like 95% of the cybersecurity issues are traced from human error. So it is like if, let's say, we can sort out at least this 95% to be lower than 10% or 20%, and you can see that all the three above will actually reduce. 2 million, 3 million can be 2 million. US 800 billion can be actually will be less, okay, and also like even the ransomware numbers can also drop. So it's very, very, very important, yeah. So if we look at these cybersecurity threats are so real, everyone is talking about cybersecurity now. It's like even like annual report in the Internet Crime Complaint Report. You can see that there's so many reports. You can see that almost like the victim that lost is almost like 6.9 billion USD. This is so unnecessary, and it is very, very stressful. And I think it's very, very sad for people who are still believe in scam and still being conned by scam and stuff like that. So you can see that there are about additional of 2,300 average complaints every day on cybersecurity issues. And you can see that the complaint received a year and over by 6.5 million complaint has been reported since interception. And this is actually is only in US, yeah. It's not even in other countries. But I will tell you about how other country looks like. And you can see that the cybercrime compared to the previous 5 years, and you look at it, it's like that is quite pretty scary. As like when you look on the top most bar, you can see that there are about 2020. In 2021, you can see that phishing, smishing, farming, and all these things has already increased, and you can see the number of the value that has been lost and the number of cases that has been breached and so forth. And if you look at it, you see like the cryptocurrency value received by ransomware was also like very, very high. You see that now what happened in the ransom attack and stuff like that, it is so convenient for them. It's just like they ask for cryptocurrency and stuff like that. They ask for the value, and they just use that, and then nobody could actually track them. And if let's say that this whole ransomware stuff is the attack is happening, is like we means like you, me. I would say that, and every one of us is the one who actually opened the door for them to do that, right? And like as what I said just now, I touched as like doctors, nurses, or whoever, and all this. You see, doctors, we have to know a little bit of cybersecurity, but you see that, look at it, the healthcare and the public health, segment that has been victimized. If we don't open the door, if we don't lock our door, our window properly, and stuff like that, this is where what is going to happen. And the most sensitive data will be actually released, especially the healthcare data. And these are the most valuable healthcare data that we are actually looking at. And like people can actually use this against anyone who actually been, because of the HIPAA and because of the PDPDA, and also the patient doctor's privacy will be breached by then. So people love to do that, because like, at the end of the day, they will hold ransom on us. And if we actually, if they have the patient data and they have released the patient data and so forth, I can tell you a few of the business case later on this healthcare specifically, right? So I was just talking about the international countries, but if you look at US and United Kingdom, it is extremely high, okay, in terms of the victims that has been registered in UK and US. And others above is about like, if you look at it, it's like Canada, India, and so forth. But this is actually a 2021 IC3 report, by the FBI. But don't you think that I would say that all these countries above, like including Malaysia, if you see that we are the number 3, so-called, proudly say that we are the least victim among the countries, I would say that most of these countries are underreported. So people in other countries here, I mean, like especially China, I don't think that I will believe that, there's about like only 571,000 that has been reported on the victimized, been victimized by this cybersecurity. So they are, again, when Verma was also mentioned about the iceberg, this is just, I would say, the tip of the iceberg that on the cases that has been reported. And of course, the victimized group, they are actually targeting those, especially on those who are actually 50 and above, that is actually more susceptible. Probably that they are targeting them mainly. I would say there's a few cases that I have actually read up on the business case is like their pension fund is basically just wiped out. Right, and that actually been allowed to, because like our own do not hold the ownership of knowing that what are the threats that is coming us, and how we actually are opening our window in our houses and let the thief comes in. Right, so these are the people things that we need to educate, right, the people. And like if you look at most of the victim, okay, in terms of victim counts, is actually like phishing. I'm sure that you all know. I will not elaborate on this. And if you look at in terms of the costs, right, the victim loss in terms of money is actually a lot of them are actually through the emails, right? So it's actually the business emails are the one that actually they will go through, and then still, I mean, like there's so much of education that's going out. So many people have been told about, the scam, and then, the spoofing and stuff like that. But if you look at it, it's like there are still people who click on that. We cannot blame them, because like at times when we see that the email, right, the email on top, I would say the spoofing or the email that's right on top, it is so real that you just don't know that whether it is real or it is fake. So there are stuff like that we need to educate our people, because if once that the breach of the email that it goes through into a company, when it actually goes into the data in the company and all this, it is really, really tough, to handle whatever. So it's actually what I'll say is like, as far as doctors is saying, prevention is actually better than cure. So we need to prevent. We need to educate people how to actually be to be aware of what is happening. Do you know that in spite of having like infrastructure as a service, solution as a service, and and we have platform as a service and so forth in cloud and all this, do you know that there is a new word that is coined? It's known as ransomware as a service. So these are the people who actually provide services, okay, to actually to execute attack, right? I would say that to execute attack and also to power the artificial intelligence, right? Okay, into the malware, and also it is one of so-called a profit business seeking machineries right now that is happening. Okay, and like they will actually create the access of the cyber intrusion tools, and also like and of course ransomware is so happening now because like they are demanding not in terms of money, not in terms of banking transaction and stuff like that. They are using cryptocurrencies. All right, so that means that allow the cyber crimes to collect the payment. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the human firewall is like, as I mentioned, 95% of the cybersecurity issues trace from human error. If we don't start educating them and so forth, you can see that 19 out of the 20 people will open our windows, our garage door, and even our doors and all these things to all these cyber theft. Right? No matter how well how well your lock system and stuff like that are, somehow or another people inside your house or people in your company actually has allowed the door and also the window, also your garage door, whatever and so forth, that can access to that home. And therefore it is very, very important, right, to actually to build a firewall, the firewall that is actually that has the human factor. Remember, right, if you look at this art, I would say, right, you look at 202 global threats report, and did you actually really look at there is one person that is inside this picture, right? So if you look at this, it's like you see that, remember that how much the adversity we face, right? Okay, I'm telling you, today, tomorrow, 20 years down the road, 30 years down the road, I'm telling you that one thing, the adversary will not rest. That means that they will continue to have all these cyber attacks and stuff like that, because it is already what we call it is actually a commercialized trade and a business that is already there in the gene of the digital world, right? So we have to accept a fight on it, and also that whatever it is, right? People perspective, the human perspective will need to have to build their own firewall around in whatever digital apparent, digital machines, phone, and all these things. They need to know that what are the vulnerabilities that they need to handle and stuff like that. So a few of the examples is like there's some unforgivable and unforgettable business cases, right? Like misdelivery, right? National Health Services, NHS, actually reviewed email address over 800 patients who visited HIV clinics. You know how it happened? It happens is like they forgot to BCC the each and everyone's email. So what they do is like they did was like they sent to somebody and then they CC everyone. That means that 800 emails on the CC email. So these are the things that is simple thing that will not even cross our mind. But you can imagine that if we forward, and then when we keep on replying the email and stuff like that on the same email thread, you can see that all these 800 patients email and records that has been exposed to to everyone, right? So these are the things that we have, simple things, but we have forgotten to do it, right? Passwords, right? So how many people will still remain? They love to do. I mean, like for me, I have the same scenario here, right? right? I mean, password has so many passwords I have to remember and stuff like that. But if you look at it, it's like there are a lot of password that still remain as 12345 6 as remain as a password, or it's actually the P alias 55 W0RD for password. And these are the one that is just so common. Everyone is actually having the same password, and like they share. In fact, some of them they even share their password to everyone, right? And they don't. Why they do it is because that they do not know the implication. They have not been told that, hey, you share your password and all. It's like, it's okay lah, I don't have time. So I even pass my password to my secretary or something like that. My secretary will paste it on the upper hand corner of the desktop and say that this is the boss password. Then they can actually use my password and say that, hey, I approve a 200 million project that has been, they can just type and use my email and the password and stuff like that. So all these things are so simple, but we are actually getting the practice that we have in our in our office, in our organization. People don't know the implication of it, the seriousness of it, right? So these are the things that we need to educate the people here, right? And 45% of them reuse the password because they are so worried that they will forget the password, right? Phone pin. How many of you have the phone pin from the manufacturer when they start the phone, and like they always put there to start the thing, okay, this is your phone pin 0123. I can assure you that I say that 95% of them are still using the same phone pin of 0123 to restart their phone and stuff like that, right? Patching and update, I think 2017 was quite serious. There's a WannaCry ransomware incidents that happened, and that the end user actually do not know, or there's a delay on updates on the information, because they already found out that it's a ransomware, but user will not inform, or there is a delay on the update of the patches. There's a Microsoft, I think there's a ransomware on the Microsoft, and these actually have resulted on millions of dollars losses. People won't know, updates, handphone update, desktop update, and stuff like that. And it's like most of the time you say, when the pop-up comes out and there's there's an update, I was like, okay, wait, hold on, and stuff like that, and then you forgot about the updates and things. But remember, updates and patching is very important, and these are the stuff that they are actually looking at, to ensure that you are protected. But most of the time we will just say, we don't have time for that, and it takes, I don't have the 5 minutes, or while you're doing your work or something like that, I was like, oh no, I didn't want my work to be disrupted. So these are a few things that we're looking at, and always, I would say that lots of the cybersecurity ownership, right, practices and all these things, everybody thought that it was the IT officer responsibility. Everyone would think like it's never a management problem, I would say, yeah, right? And it's like, oh, any cyber virus attack and stuff like that, and everyone took it lightly and said, IT, can you look into it, right? So they don't know that the exact issues that not only IT officers are responsible. It needs to be a team. It needs to be even to build what we call it as a cybersecurity or the compliance committee to look into this, to drive the whole compliance in the cybersecurity arena in any of the ransomware. So these are why the human firewall, because we uses things almost digitally. Almost everyone use digital stuff, right? I mean, you can't live without your handphone now, right? I always say that whenever you leave your handphone at home or your wife at home, when you left the house, and what would you make, whatever it is, you want to make a U-turn for your wife, or is it for your handphone? And I can tell you that 90% of them says that, yeah, I need my handphone. That's why I'm turning back to take my handphone. Wife, please carry on with your Grab. okay, or Grab, or even the car, or the transportation or something like that, right? So this is something very important. So like password, credit card details, bank accounts detail, online wallets, and also like the stuff like smartphone apps and location sharing and biometrics, and most of the apps is like it is readily in your handphone, and like you can literally download, and some of them they won't know whether this is genuine and this is not, right? I mean, this is very, 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 things that's very, very common, and they just download certain things that they don't even know that is a scam or it is a fake, right? So, in fact, a lot of them will the emotion experience after they have been detected for the unauthorized access. Most of them are angry, stressed, and you can see that some of them are embarrassed or whatever. But if you look at it, it's like the unbothered one and others, I think we don't have to look at it, but I think most of them are saying that the sad thing is like they are scared, they felt violated, they have been bullied and stuff like that. Like, they threaten to post the pictures of them in a compromised manner, and these are something like it's also a good example of ransom, yeah, and also like and embarrassed. But these are the things, like especially particularly on the part of the embarrassment and stuff like that. Most of them, they don't even report, right? They will just pay them up and then get it over with, and hopefully they will learn an expensive lesson. But is it necessary? Individually, I would say that number can be small, but if you are opening up a company's or compromising company's data or information through a security breach because of our own, our own doing, then I think we may even lose our job now, because everybody is actually quite serious. Now, everyone asks me is like, okay, then, Doc, what is the solution? I would say that it's very simple. Ask a solution. Our solution is its attitude, the skills, and also the knowledge. Right? I think this is actually very common in any of the training component. If you actually have gone through the pedagogy and stuff like that. So, but I have actually put it as a 3-3-3 formula, right? Just a simple 3-3-3. That means a 3 solution for attitude, 3 solution for skills, and also 3 solution for knowledge. So what are the 3? Attitude. So please, we have to let people know that assume that everyone is already cybersecurity compromised. Meaning is like whatever it is, that there's something that you have actually leaked out, and something that have already, some door has already been opened and stuff like that. So we need to actually, one, of course, the ransom part is like you protect all your workloads, whether you want to download it, you put it in a hard drive, or you put it in the cloud, or you put it in the multiple location and stuff like that. You need to, so that they will not hold you at ransom, right? And be ready for every second counts. Means like whenever there is a attack, you need to know what is right, what is wrong, what needs to be done, and how to do it. Because like the second strikes, okay, and I'm telling you, cybersecurity and the security attacks, okay, every second counts, because like every second increase, it will give you an exponential loss of money, or loss of in a compromised manner, right? So we have to be quick, we have to be fast, we have to like pull the plug as soon as possible, and of course, remember, we have to adopt what we call it as a zero trust practice. Meaning to say is like every time, everything we have to look, we have to see, so that we will know that these are the things that are not right. That may be actually a spoofing or malware that is actually embedded to it, email and stuff like that. So it's very important. I mean, these are the things that we don't even realize. Every time when we are in a hurry and all these things, we just click, 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 and want to be quick, right? But at the end of the day, we are opening up the malware or certain things that is inside the email and so forth. Another 3 skills, right? Remember, single one of us who has a digital footprint, right? We have to be securing our own device, our own system, right? We have to take that ownership. We have to learn how to own it. Because like These are the things is like we need to do, because otherwise, right, we are subject to any kind of a factory kind of configuration and all this, and knowing that you will not do anything about it, right? So one is like you have to have the skill to stop the modern attacks. Simple thing, very, very simple thing, I would say, to educate the people, like how to detect the email that actually has a malware, how do you actually look into the tone, how do you look at the content of the email on the spelling mistake or certain things like that, and so forth, right? So eliminate misconfiguration, always configure whatever that is the factory, setup and things like that. These are the things that you should look into. And how do you learn how to set a VPN, how you look into the incognito stuffing and things like that. These are the stuff that you have to learn. No excuse. You're a doctor, lawyers, nurses, or even like IT officers. IT officers, of course, they are more cautious, but those who are more cautious can also be very, very, what we call it, can actually make silly mistakes as well. So remember, invest in the life-threatening hunting, right? In terms like we have to educate the top management. It's like and telling them that the threat that is coming and what are the form of threats and so forth. So please understand that the governance is very, very important, and cybersecurity governance is very, very important nowadays, and it has to be in place in every single organization, whether it is big or small, right? Knowledge. Remember, I was just talking about strong compliance government, right? You know what is coming. You have to know what are the new things that is coming, the adversaries that is coming, the attacks that is coming, the new things that is coming from the cloud, and what are the the viruses or whatever ransomware that is coming. And also, of course, you have to monitor the criminal underground. So one times you have to look, as I think Verma was also talking about the OWASP things and all this, which is quite interesting. A society that looks into that, and you can join them and then and look at and share what is all these things are coming. So importantly, which is also very, very challenging, is like we have to lead the company or lead any of the agencies to build a cybersecurity culture, right? So again, I'm saying that it has to be from the top management coming downwards, and it's like a top down, right? And also we have to let people understand on the ground level, right, which is bottoms up, to know that what are the threats coming. People were asking me, is like, Doc, are you the cleaners, what kind of a courses that you should be appropriate for them, right? I was just telling them, hey, cybersecurity, man, there's something that they work in let's say they work in the airport, right? And they actually have the the airport email and something like that, and they all have a handphone and things like that, and we have to teach them, because they are the one who probably be the entry point, okay, of all these cyber attacks. And if we don't teach them, it is our fault, right? And we have to make them be intelligent enough to actually identify what is wrong, what is right, what to look out for, and things like that. Simple thing, and it's not expensive. It's just a 1 or 2 days training, and give them some scenario and stuff like that. So they actually has both side, the top as well as the bottom. So we need to cover this whole the whole thing as a package, okay, to look into the cybersecurity culture, right? I was quite excited about when I heard about this RCCS, right? And this is it's not meant for marketing, but I think the content and all these things is super cool. I would say that this is Rocheston cybersecurity certified specialist, and this is actually the content that we'll look into to tell people what are the what are the safety, the identify the spam, the phishing, the how to secure your mobile phone, your network, your website, and backing up your data, and also like even like the social media, how you protect yourself, like you won't tell everybody, you just snap a photo and say, hey, I'm on holiday today, and next thing you know that your house has been intruded, right? It's a simple thing. So these are the things that we need to actually educate the people, what to share and what not to share, and also like the importance of this is actually we need to build the groundwork to strengthen it, okay, and what we call it as the importance to build the importance of the firewall. So this is all the things that you learned in RCCS, and I'm also learning certain things. It was so new to me that I don't even realize, right? So as again, I'm saying that if you don't want to see, you will never see whatever that is coming to you, right? So these are the few things that I'm touching on, and of course the role of responsibility for after you're getting the RCS, you will feel. I think I feel that this courses actually should be propagated to every single society line or level of society, and it's quite simple to learn. And like with this knowledge, and then with the skills that they are going to put into practice, and of course with the attitude, the correct attitude, and also we have to a little bit to create some form of awareness so that the attitude or the change will stick, so that we need to have that foundation to be built properly, and that foundation is your human firewall. Okay. All right. So this is how the certification actually looks like. So with this, I think thank you for your kind attention, and I think I can take a few minutes of your questions, and of course, good luck to you all.
Hi, Peter.
Yep.
Thank you for that. I think very essential and simple presentation on the basics. So I think let me start off with a question that would probably be something that would be useful information for everybody. Basically, three basic steps that you would recommend that everyone employ just to be a little more safe and secure, whether it comes to being online or using their devices. And just three simple steps that all of them can use to automatically become safer.
Right. Again, I was saying that always remember is the act. A, right? The ASK, right? You need to actually correct you need to create awareness, okay, so that the attitude of these people to be aware. That's very, very important, right? And I think number two is like you have to provide the skill set, and also of course is the knowledge. If I let me tell you one thing, if you don't educate these people, they will never know what is hitting them. They'll never know what is even attacking them, right? But that's why these are actually very, very important for you. And I say the three steps, okay? The three on attitude, three on skills, and three on knowledge is important, right? So that is the most important point, right? So I also got a few questions here. So unfortunately, 80 population. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, correct. I think the other one is how frequent do you need to change the password? See, it all depends. If you have a proper governance, some of them they will say 90 days, some of them will say 60 days. So it's up to the organization. But I would say that how vulnerable of the attacks that is coming in, that is the difference. But I understand. I'm also having the same pain, Aditya. Like, they asked me to change the password. I was like, how many times I need to change? Can I reuse the password? But the IT fellow said, like, yeah, you can, because I'm the boss here, and it's like they will listen to me, right? But that's because I have not been told that is that why the password needs to be changed, why the password will needs to be complicated enough so that people will not hack, why they need to have the double the two layers of password and stuff like that. So it's a lot of things. If I have not been educated and stuff like that, I would say that I will say that, oh, no, these are lousy, these are the practice that is actually will put the pain in me. All right. Yep. Aditya.
There is one more question, I think. Okay, so I found someone is using my email address for some online services from banking to password recovery. How to detect who that person is and how to safeguard myself from it?
So I think recently I found that someone is using your email. So have you actually given your email to someone, or have you actually found that there might be a spoofing or some email that actually ask you for information and things like that? So I would say that there are something that you have actually released out there that people has already be able to pick up your information. I would say that phishing your information, right? So if you want to detect that person and all this, you probably one is like you have to go back to the whatever I mean the banking girl or whoever it is. But most of the time, right, I would say that they are so intelligent, right? You will not even be able to detect. And most of the time, they will say that, okay, just go and change your password. The practice is like, go and change your password, get your things, clean up, and be more careful, right? If you go and find all these things, you want to find the person and all, you don't even know that person if is in the country. It could be in anywhere else in the world. And it's like, are you going to actually take that trouble and all these things to find it? So important is, again, I'm saying is like the important thing, right? Prevention is better than cure. That is the word, right? And you have to protect yourself. Once you have got it, you have to be more careful. Okay? Right. Thanks, Jason. He says everyone should. Sorry, I just missed Jason's number. He says
No more,
everyone
no
should
more.
be in
I think he's just,
cybersecurity.
yeah, he's agreeing with your points of view. It's not a question.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we are done with the questions as well, Peter. I think it's time for us to go into a break as well. So
Yep.
thank you so much, Peter, for that very informative session. I think we all definitely enjoyed it, and we are going to leave it with some very, very useful tips for us to safeguard ourselves a little bit better. So thank you
Thank
so much,
you.
Peter.
Thank you,
Have a good
everyone.
evening.
Thanks for the compliment. Thank you. Yeah, have a good
Thank you.
evening. Bye bye.